Welcome to TaxTron web tutorial video series. Today, we're diving into the concept of the minimum tax in Canada. Whether you're familiar or not, by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how it works and if it applies to you. The alternative minimum tax, or AMT, is exactly as it sounds. It is an alternative method to calculate the income tax you owe in Canada. Minimum tax limits the tax advantage you can receive in a year from certain incentives. You have to pay minimum tax if it is more than the federal tax you calculate in the usual manner. Are you aware of situations that might trigger the minimum tax on your returns? Let's explore the key scenarios that could lead to paying minimum tax. Firstly, if you've reported a taxable capital gain on line 12,700 of your return. Secondly, claiming losses resulting from capital cost allowances on rental properties, losses from limited partnerships that are tax shelters, reporting most carrying charges, line 22100, on certain investments, or deductions for security options line 24,900 might lead to the minimum tax. Lastly, if you've claimed specific tax credits such as the federal political contribution tax credit, investment tax credit, labor-sponsored funds tax credit, or federal dividend tax credit. Now, let's focus on a special scenario. If you've reported a taxable capital gain on line 12,700 of your return, and any situation from the second scenario applies to you. To determine if you're subject to this tax, add the figures from the situations in the second scenario and 60% of the amount on line 12,700 of your return. If the total is $40,000 or less, you probably do not have to pay minimum tax. If the total is more than $40,000, you may have to pay minimum tax. Remember, you might also need to complete Form 428 or Form T-2203, provincial and territorial taxes from multiple jurisdictions, to calculate additional provincial or territorial tax for minimum tax purposes. By assessing these scenarios and calculations, you'll have a clearer picture of whether the minimum tax applies to you. In our next video, we'll guide you through a practical demonstration using TaxTron's web platform, how the alternative minimum tax is calculated for your tax return.